Hey, welcome to LU502, the podcast where we get up close and personal with the plumbers, pipe fitters, and service techs of Local 502. I'm Ryan Kleber. Joining me is my co-host, Erik Elzy.
LU502 is your go-to source for stories, skills, and the daily lives of our hardworking people in this local. We're just getting started, and we're excited to see where this takes us.
Welcome again to another edition of LU502. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Kleber.
And I'm Erik Elzy.
Glad to see everyone. We've been on a little bit of hiatus here lately. Been very busy with the apprentice interviews and some other stuff around the office. So we're glad to get back and start talking to the members again. Erik, what you been up to?
Well, this past weekend we just had our the second time recently that we've done the St. Patty's Day parade, and I feel like that we represented very well. We had the most people walking with us in the parade.
It was a great turnout.
I would think we had I'd say we had upwards of 200 people
Easy
walking with us in the parade, and no one else had the amount of people we had. So we were well represented, not only in the parade, but also members standing on the side, waving at us and hollering at us, and hoping maybe we can make this a little bit better every year, make our float a little better, make it all better.
We by far had the most people walking behind. In the procession, it was insane.
Yeah, Brother John Reeves posted a video on the page that was basically the guy emceeing the parade, and the guy emceeing the parade even said, "Hey, we've never seen this many people walking with a float when our float went by." So
yeah,
that's it was kind of crazy to see all of the people that showed up, and of course there was green hoodies going out, and I've been instructed, and I'm going to do it, order more hoodies to have here to Union Hall for purchase for people to come in and buy these hoodies. So they're in the process of being ordered.
Okay.
So
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was fun. I will say we probably need more beads or something, because I was out the first block and I was like, damn, we still got like 10 blocks to go. And
that's the thing. I tried to explain when we met down at Miller's Lane with all the apprentices. I tried to explain down there. I said, well, now listen, as soon as you take off walking, don't start handing out all your beads, or you'll be out in about 30 seconds. So take your time, keep walking, don't stop. And yes, we could get more beads. This year we went with the ones that had our logo on them. They had the medallion with our logo on them. Last year I just bought a big keg of nothing but just regular beads. Yeah. And that's probably what we more need to do, and just mix in some of the ones with our medallions on them, because then ones with our medallions on them cost.
Or maybe like stage them like every 2 blocks, bring in a keg out or something.
That's what I thought about too. I thought, we can have guys kind of say, hey, your job is to give out beads from this block to this block, and then the next block to the next block, there'll be a different group of people giving out beads, and we kind of stagger how we give them out.
And they're all different. It's like, did you get this edition?
Right.
Yeah, but it's hard not to. These kids are looking at you like the puppies in the Sarah McLachlan
Give me
commercial.
something.
They're just crying. I'm like,
it's neat too, because it's us, the iron workers, electricians, and the sheet metal guys. We all are kind of right there in a row.
Yeah.
And everybody sees it's a great part of town. Everybody's having a good time. So I think it's a good thing to represent our local to do.
It was good.
So
a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Great job on that, putting that together.
Man. Thanks for everybody that came out and walked with us.
And so Tyler Huber pulled it in his Humvee.
Absolutely, man.
Who designed the trailer?
It was Nathan Fortwingler and what's it?
Clements? Josh
Clements.
Josh, I
hope they edit that out, because I couldn't think of his name right off the top of my head. But
it's fine. We're good.
Josh Clements, Nathan Fortwingler. They did it last year. They got us going in that.
Yeah.
I made this announcement at the thing. I was kind of, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, an asshole, because I didn't hold back. We run out of hoodies, and Josh and Nathan didn't get hoodies, and I know they headed up the trailer last year, so they deserve all the credit for where the trailer's at currently. And that's why I say, they did it to set up where they want to leave it. They're not apprentices anymore, so the next group of apprentices add to it. Change it up. Do what you want to do.
That's how anything happens. You start with the inception and you get going, and then other generations build on it, and that's how you.
And to Tyler Huber, last year he approached me and asked me about pulling it with his Humvee, and of course I've explained to him. I'm like, man, as long as you've got that Humvee, we would love to have you pull.
We'll get you some decals or like some.
I gave him a flag. He's got a flag that he was hung off the truck, but we can get him some stuff to stick on it the way everybody, because we got the banners on the trailer that show all our stuff, but the more ways we can stand out, I'm with you. The more ways we can stand out, the better off it'll make us look.
Can't have these iron workers showing us up.
No, man, no. not the iron workers or the electricians, man.
Exactly.
Like I told them when they wanted to tell me about, they were trying to win the trophies. They were like, "Look at all these trophies we've won." In this St. Patty's Day parade. And I said, man, I can show you our wages if you'd like.
There you go.
Look at our wages and our retirement plans
Mic
and our
drop.
benefits.
There you go. Keep your float, bro.
Oh, man. But it was a good time, man. I'm glad
good.
that we had to show up. It was a good time. And you were there. You seen it too, man. Everybody was,
No, it was great.
We had a good time, man.
We had one, what's the word I'm looking for here? Victim, I guess maybe would be, someone who flew a little too close to the sun. I won't name him, but that gentleman knows who he is. So I'm sure the sidewalk people who had to clean up the next day were pissed he had White Castle that morning because he was everywhere. But
yeah, man. Yeah, he was in a little bit of rough shape, and the bad part about it is we hadn't even started walking yet.
I know.
But I mean, you live and learn, man. We all did
Right.
the same things when we was young men. So you live and learn, man.
Don't take him to Nashville. So we opened up talking about the apprentices. So we took in 117 apprentices in this upcoming class. Before we get to 2 out of rounds about that, because I know a lot of family members, had people apply. 70 of those were previously pre-apprentices, metal trades, or METs being upgraded. So, 70 of those have actually proven themselves, with at least a year of experience on the job site, to earn that shot to move up.
That's the hard thing about, you're the same way I am, and I'm sure everybody in here is the same way both of us are. We get lots of people calling us, hey, man, this person's applied, that person's applied, and we interview them. And, I mean, they knock it out of the park. I mean, most of the time they're good interviews, and they knock it out of the park. But like you just said, man, when you take 114 apprentices and 70 of them were already working for our contractors,
right.
and, the contractors definitely want them. It only leaves room for so many more. So we have to take the highest scores. And sometimes, I mean, I was explaining to a guy the other day, I was like, man, we took the top 9 people in this category, and the guy he called me about finished 11th. And I'm like, he was 2 outside of that top ranking.
But
doesn't mean we can't still help him down the road a little bit.
Once it picks up.
It just means his route's going to be a little different than these kids that got accepted.
Once things get rolling and they need pre-apprentices, or he could be the next group of METs to come out and help.
And the hard part about it is, I don't know. I mean, I interviewed all the plumbers, and I sat in on some of the fitters and a couple of HVAC interviews. But I mean, there's some bang up interviews, man, of guys
really good interviews
that did not get accepted to our program because, I mean, just like we just talked about, how it fell.
Yeah, I tell you, eye-opening was that some who missed it last year, who we said, because you read the ads, and our apprenticeship is set up to take someone, who has no skill level whatsoever and turn them into professional.
Sure.
If you have the drive to do it, we can turn you into professional. So some just barely missed out. I mean, they don't have the intangibles. Like I said, when you get, 60% of the incoming class is already, in the union somehow. So it really kind of lowers the numbers that you're picking from the pool. So, but we're like, hey, get some experience, come back. And a lot of them did. A lot of them, went to even welding school, went to ECTC, got a non-union job at the plumbing outfit. Same thing with, a HVAC outfit, just whatever they could to get some reps to actually understand the lingo and the terminology. That way, you're not starting from square one as a first year. So
that's what makes it so hard. It's like you say, we tell them what to do. If they get denied one year, then they come back and they've done it. And we still can't guarantee them a spot in our apprenticeship program. That's the hard part. I mean, if we we interviewed, right around 500 people. And we took actually off the list, we only took 47 of those people out of
47
off the list. And I mean, so that tells you that we've got all these people applying to our apprenticeship program, and if we had room for them, we could take a lot more than what we took. But we just don't have room for them. That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah. And I don't know if maybe we need to stress this going forward in the future. The aptitude test they take before the work keys assessment, that goes into it. So even if you scored, 60 is the highest you can get, right? 60
that's on the interviews. It's
on the interview process. So even if you got straight 60s across, if you bombed on the test, on the aptitude test, then it's going to bring your score down. So we really want to know.
And that's what happened in some cases. That's what happened.
Yeah, because it goes over some things, but it's also life situations. It's no different than the test you'll get when going into the military. It's kind of like the ASVAB a little bit, where it's like, are you rational? How do you handle certain situations? Or, what's your temperament? It kind of, it's like a psychological gauge almost. And also to see if, if you're, on the spectrum or not.
Yeah, because it tells you when you do folders like I do, and it tells you at the bottom, seek more information. When they don't do well on something, it tells you right there across the bottom, seek more information.
I don't know this because I haven't actually done the deep dive myself, but just from when I try to remember and look back, the ones where it says, very good probability of success or guaranteed success, that usually correlates to, a good apprentice, at least in the apprenticeship now, where they are later on. But, a couple bad marriages will change anyone's perspective on life. So
a couple bad marriages, a DUI or two.
DUI or two, yeah, I know that, yeah. Take all the wind out of themselves.
So leading into that, the apprentices, we also have our apprentice contest coming up.
Yes.
Our statewide apprentice contest is coming up second week of May. We have four people representing each trade. We have Kevin Millay, which is our pipe fitters and fifth-year apprentice.
They know this, right? This isn't breaking information.
No, they know this. I've asked. Well, we talked about it the other day. They've already said this to them.
I guess they had to make sure they wanted to go. Yeah, it's a commitment.
That's why when we get to the plumbers, you'll see.
Okay.
Kevin Millay is our pipe fitter. He's a fifth-year apprentice. Quentin Briggs is the welder. He's a fifth-year apprentice, and then Austin Paget is the plumber, and he's a fourth-year apprentice.
But none of the fifth years wanted to.
They couldn't get a fifth year to commit to it for one reason or the other, vacation or whatever. And so Austin Paget is the plumber, and then Clayton Fields is the HVAC apprentice, and he's a fifth year representing us. And these guys are. I don't know if they realize what they've gotten themselves into, but the opportunity to win and then move on to district, and hopefully we get somebody to move from the district onto the national competition.
We haven't made the nationals since it's been some time. I think we had a service tech back in
we had service tech
2015.
About 10 years ago is what I was going to say. And it'd be nice to get somebody else up there to the national contest. And if you see these young men out there working on jobs, if you work around them or see them, make sure you encourage them to, get in.
Stay sober.
Get in the shop. Yes. Get in the shop. If you're, whatever you need to be doing to practicing up on, get that stuff done. Look into books. Make sure you understand it. Right. And then when you get through the state, you win the state. I see all of our guys have a pretty good shot at winning the state. You get to the district, it'll be a totally different deal. You got to get ready again.
Where's that at this year?
It's in Cincinnati. The District 2's in Cincinnati this year. So, them guys and winners move on to Cincinnati. These guys, I know they'll represent our local well, and we'll make sure they have a good time and they understand that when they go wherever they go, they're going to be ready to
Oh yeah, our coordinators, I have them ready, and so being a former coordinator and also I'm sure a judge at one point or another, what kind of projects do you see? Like I know the plumbers, I saw it's usually like a whole bathroom group. Like
the plumbers is it's like a little small bathroom group. It'll be that's just the practical portion. It'll be like a toilet, a lav, a urinal, and they might throw a roof drain in on it somehow. And, the fitters, they do saddle in, saddle on projects. Welders, they create a hell of a project for the welders. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, is this for real, man? Are they making these guys do this?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, the welds these guys have to do. Like if you had to do that job on that weld on a job site, you'd kill the fitter and probably the foreman for putting you in that position.
Right. They're laying
these are
down
emergency welds.
Yes.
Like literally on your belly, twisted.
And I'm not a welder, but I'm looking at it like, what the hell, man? They can't make these guys do this. And the HVAC guys, they go through everything. I'm not an HVAC, but they go from one project to another. And
it's great. I think they got to. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. When they're done with that one, and whoever wins, the winners move on to district. It's a totally different test. Like as far as in my world, the plumbing world, you go from we did everything at a statewide level by Kentucky State Plumbing Code, but now we're going to Cincinnati, and it's a national plumbing code.
That's true. That is different.
Which is understand that
it's more lenient, right? I know Kentucky.
Yeah, it's more lenient.
Way more strict.
It's more lenient, but these guys are used to doing everything the way they do them at work.
Right.
And then they go to this contest and they look and they're like, well, wait a minute, this is only one vent on the whole bathroom. We got to vent every fixture in Kentucky.
Right.
So it's totally different. But
Google wet vent.
Like you said, the coordinators and if they have an instructor, that everybody down there is at their, they'll be willing to help them. Just got to ask for help. So good luck to all four of them, man.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a journey, and we'll keep everyone updated. That's in May, so we'll talk about them, and if maybe we'll have them on. Talk to them.
Sure.
That'd be a good
pod. Come on and talk about their experience. Maybe more apprentices will want to jump in there and do it. I know the coordinators have a difficult time getting people to jump up and want to do it. So.
Yeah, you do get a lot of good gifts, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's a pain in the ass. I mean,
It
it's
is.
you
It
gotta
is. You
want
meet a
it.
lot of good. They'll meet a lot of good guys. They'll get to see how people
yeah.
do it in other areas, and they get to make friends of guys. And if they're into the pins, start trading the sticker trading and
Oh
all
yeah,
that stuff,
yeah,
man,
there's
they'll
that.
get a lot of that
Hmm.
stuff going on. So, what
Well,
else you got, buddy?
well, I'm gonna say while we're still talking about apprentices, so this upcoming October, we just got a email from the UA Local Union Officer Seminar plus UA MCAA Labor Relations Conference. So this will be the third year they're doing it, and they do it biannually. So Eric and I went. Well, let's
We
see,
went
be
to
3 years
Colorado
ago.
the first time
Well, yeah, that was back in 18. That was,
before COVID.
which I could talk about that trip, but I don't know if we would get edited out or not. It was hilarious. Walking up to that hotel that night
Yeah,
and what they had there with who was coming was, I mean, it's
they
quite a
had.
contrast.
Yeah.
It was
But
funny.
we probably don't want to talk about that, but.
I don't think it
Um,
was.
so we took an apprentice then in
Yeah.
2018.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Jenkins Jr. went with
Yep.
us as an HVAC. He was the HVAC guy, and he went
Yep.
with us. And then 2 years ago, you and I took
Ryan Husband.
Ryan Husband with
Mm-hmm.
us to Vegas on a trip, and they got the. I think if you ask those two guys, they would explain to you how the experience. They made them look at things a lot differently. How the unions are ran and what
Oh
goes
yeah.
on. And,
It's like it's like if every congressman got to bring a constituent from their
right.
from
Exactly
their
what it
state,
is.
and you get to
That's
sit there and like, oh, is this what y'all do? Like,
That's exactly what it is. And now it's coming up again, and it's a pipe fitter apprentice's turn to go. And I mean that's the way. I mean,
Well,
me and you just talked about it before we
Yeah.
came on, and I mean the way I see it is it's a pipe fitter's turn to go, and so I will get with the coordinators and figure
Okay.
out which one of them decides they think that needs to go, and
it'll be fun.
it is a great learning experience for the people.
Spoiler alert: it's going to be a lot about organizing.
Yes.
Don't want to break anybody's heart, but that's
Can you breathe? Do you have a heartbeat?
So anyway,
Yeah, that's coming up. That's something else that's coming up. Yesterday,
go ahead. Sorry, no, go ahead.
Yesterday we had our retirees luncheon, and
Great turnout.
I will say that's one of the best turnouts I've ever seen from the retirees luncheon, which I love to see it. Them guys sitting around telling old stories.
Oh yeah,
They get a meal shoved down their throats, and I mean it's just neat to see all them guys that set the standard for what we're going by today, and
yeah.
and listen to their old stories, and when they have a big crowd, it's exciting to see that.
Well, think about how many people in that room that you learn from that personally helped you to your success.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
Mentors.
And a
Everybody's-
couple of your mentors weren't in there yesterday, but a lot of them were. But I mean,
Yep.
but there were guys, that showed me how to be, a good brother,
Yep.
but a professional as well. Not
That's right.
just, I'm only a professional when it comes to bitching about the contract. You're also a professional in your work habits and your day-to-day habits, and it's a
That's what's neat is
Good
you get
group
to
of
go
guys.
over there and see your mentors, like you said. And a lot of my mentors, I still talk to them every day today.
Oh, yeah.
Today, and I don't know what I'd do without some of them, man. I mean, because you go over there and then you sit in all the knowledge that's in the room. All the guys that
Yeah.
have built these towns and built these jobs and developed relationships with these end users that we are still benefiting from
Yeah.
today because of those guys.
Well, I mean, if you have to have, you have to have something done to your facility, and these guys come in and they kind of lay the groundwork. I mean, of course, that then you start picking up other generations of it. But you
Right.
found something that worked in your plant, and you want to keep it going. So yeah, like you said, a lot of these guys laid the foundation to keep us in these different facilities and different plants.
Yeah, and they probably looked at us when we were dumbass apprentices and thought, man, this is
Yeah.
the future of our local. And
Like we look at the apprentices now.
the same
Yeah.
thing we did, and but this what you got to understand is that they set the standard, they pass it down. We try to keep the standard, we pass it down, and just remember, this local's any bigger than any one person, man. I mean, that's
Right.
why it's been here for over 100 years. That's why these unions have been in the city for over
Yeah.
100 years because it's a union, man. And
Well, as long as the theme transfers each generation, is that we are professionals who always, aim to do it right.
right.
You know what I mean? I mean, the music changes, the styles change, the trends change, a lot of things change. But as long as you're always working with the mindset, that can't ever change. And as long as we stay there and don't,
It's
vary
never
from that
more
path.
true today than what it was when I was an apprentice, when they told us, all we have to sell is our quality.
That's it.
and it's still true today.
People
That's all we
pay
have
top
to
dollar for quality. I don't think you
Yeah.
understand it. They don't pay top dollar for half-ass.
We all we have to sell to these end users is our quality. We can sell them our quality. So
Yeah.
as long as we keep that intact,
That's
we're
it.
trying to put in quality work.
That's it. That's it.
So
What else was I going to say? Oh, I had some, just a little work thing. I know I've been talking at the last few uni meetings about the LAP expansion or renovation or whatever they're going to do, that $900 million. It's been postponed till December. And what I'm hearing is that they can't get any contractor to fully commit to the demo package. That is a rumor, but it's confirmed by numerous people. So, but I haven't had, Forward Land say it to me, but just.
that's a large project for us, for our members.
And they said the Mavericks coming back, which I don't know,
Right.
who's beating on the table for the Maverick to return, but I guess the Bronco did good.
Because it's a battery-powered little truck.
Right. Well, they keep bringing me, the Charger, the Challenger,
Right.
the Bronco. Yeah. I mean,
that's what the
Thunderbird
Maverick
came
was
back
a
for a
car.
little bit.
When we was kids, a Maverick was a car.
Yeah.
Why is it a truck now?
How's Posi Track work?
My grandpa had a
It
Maverick.
does. Yeah, right. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a good one for us, for us and our members, and it's a job we need to have. We'd love to have it, but
Yeah.
like you said, it's been postponed till December. Hopefully they don't keep pushing it out.
I wouldn't think so. And there's some other. There's a lot of jobs. I know we have like 60 people off right now, and there's a lot of jobs going on around the country. Flint Hills, Michigan, which I've worked at numerous times, their refinery. It's a great refinery, great local, great benefits, good annuity. We have about 10 members going to that. There's a job in South Bend, Indiana, an Amazon plant that's got the per diem. An LG battery plant still going in Nashville that's got the per diem. So, I mean, there's some spots to hide out for a couple months, and make some good money until work picks back up. No different than the guys who came here for Blue Oval.
Yeah, there's money to be made on the road if you can get on the road and go do it.
And once you taste a per diem, it's hard. It's like, they say when a shark tastes blood, it's over. It's all they want. And that's what these guys are like, where's the per diem at? I'm like, fuck, man. It's out there.
There is something, like you said, where it's at. You've developed a relationship with all these guys all over the country. Just, and where the work's at. And if the guys want to go, you can get them there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've done good at making friends, so that's good.
Yeah.
I try to reciprocate,
Right.
to those guys whenever we have work.
That's
And,
what it's all about.
So,
like when we had the battery plant.
Yeah.
I
mean, we had California. I'm like, why would you come here from California? It's like $70 an hour there, which made me think, like, all right, well, this guy can't work in California, but maybe he's got family here. I don't know. I don't know the whole.
And the
dynamics.
cost of living's a lot cheaper here too.
That is true. That is
when
true.
they come here and talk about it, it's like, God dang it, man, it's that expensive. $6 for a gallon of gas out there.
I know.
Back then when we was paying $4, we was about to lose our minds, and them dudes was paying $6 a gallon out there.
I mean, I remember when a dime bag cost a dime.
An actual dime.
Actual dime. Some more news: the Meta data center. So, and I don't know why I didn't put this together, but after I started reading up and researching, so that solar plant right next to it is going to power. It's a joint venture. Yeah, so it's solar pack is what it is, and it's 210 megawatts, which is, a megawatt is a million watts, so 210 times a million is how many watts it's going to produce to feed.
Million.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, to feed the data center, and then there's also another plant that's going up, not in Jeffersonville. It's also a solar plaque plant that's going to also feed that as well. So that's going to help the grid in that area. Plus, also because the data center, I don't know if people know. I mean, it takes stupid power to run. I mean,
I know, and it's crazy how all that's going in, because I've been over there, and that whole area right there, I guess it's getting ready to get all built up over there. I mean, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere right now.
Yeah, Chardon's got a job over there, 1440. I think that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like a Yellowstone origin story, but it's 1440 is like a distillery that's got some good work going on. There's a lot of stuff in that area over there.
Right.
So it's crazy.
Man.
There's that.
It's good for us. Good for us.
Great for us. I still think work's going to be good regardless, So we'll just have to see. There's probably some laws
Even though the
changing.
battery plant's gone, we'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
We'll be fine for now. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? U of L UK?
Yeah,
both
man,
teams
I wrote
did
that
pretty
down
good.
too,
Whoever
man.
you're with, I think you got two teams that are going to represent pretty well in both.
It's fun to
tournaments.
watch when they're both doing well.
It really
in the
is.
Tournament. It's fun to watch when we can, whether you're a Louisville fan or a Kentucky fan, you can root for your team, and and hopefully one of them or both of them makes it
Yeah.
pretty far in the tournament.
You know,
It'd be
us
nice to
being
watch.
corporate sponsors of U of L, you know, we get to meet. We've met Kelsey. I mean, he's, you know, good dude.
He's a ball of fire, man.
Lot of
He's a
energy.
ball
Oh,
of
yeah.
fire. I
He
love
shot out of a
watching that
cannon.
guy, man.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Mark Pope's done good stuff in Lexington, man, with,
Yeah.
you know, with the time he had to turn that team around. And
Both
you know,
completely different teams. It's crazy.
The whole landscape of college basketball is different now, watching college basketball. I mean, you know, Louisville's made up. Their whole team is nothing but seniors.
Yeah.
I mean, he recruited all seniors to come
That's
in here.
it.
And, I mean, that's just the way basketball is now. Well, college sports and all around, you know, with the NIL and stuff and how they're doing it. And hell, they're going to have salary caps and stuff now, man.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, would you go pick an unknown out of high school unless there's some kind of transcendent
Right. Like,
talent,
like
or
LeBron or somebody like that.
or
you know?
someone, you know, like what Kentucky get, Lamont Butler, or U of L got Chucky, what's his last name?
Chucky
Hepburn. Yeah. So I
yeah.
mean, both those guys are really stepping up, and they were big time contributors for
Seniors.
the other team,
Yeah,
seniors.
man.
So
Yep.
and you get to go out with a bang too. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
man.
all right, let's.
Yep. It's been fun to watch this year. Both
It
of them,
has.
it's been fun to watch.
It's brought me
So,
back because I was.
Yeah.
done
I'm looking
with
forward to the
Calipari.
tournament. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the tournament. I mean, because Louisville, I'm a Louisville fan, of course, and Louisville has been, the last 5 years, it's been miserable.
It's been rough.
The debacle of the basketball program that is U of L.
Well-
But now, Pat Kelsey, man, I'll tell you what, Pat
Yeah.
Kelsey's brought it back, man.
Yeah, he's
brought
doing
it
good.
back. He's fun to watch. But you know, he's freaking my height, and he looks up at them guys and gets crawls in their ass. And
He
I'm
gets
like,
in that
man,
ass.
He
He
does,
does.
man. I love it. I love it. But
You seen Patino? I think St. John's is.
man, they're wearing it out, man.
Exceptionally well.
I think he's ranked in the top 5 or 6.
Yeah,
right
man.
now, man. They're wearing it out, man.
He's got some quotes I listen to at the gym in the morning to get me going.
Yeah.
They're pretty
I
much
mean,
just
one
like
thing about it, man,
David Goggins, he's like, quit being a bit, like.
they can't question his ability to coach basketball.
No,
you know, they can't.
not at all.
They run him out of this town for stuff that people do all over his country.
He's been acquitted.
Yeah.
He's got nothing. They
know
dropped
that.
everything. He's completely.
They
free
run him
everything.
out of here for stuff that everybody all over this country does it for college sports. Whatever
Yeah.
they got to do to get recruits and keep them happy, that's what they've done for years.
Pretty much.
And they run Patino out of town for it.
It's all right. He might get the last laugh though.
He is going to get the last laugh.
I think so. Anything else?
That's it, man. That's what I wrote down. I had some stuff we wanted to talk about. I think we got it off our chest today. We got to
All
talk
right.
about what we wanted to. This wasn't really I enjoyed this one. It wasn't crazy. Let's get crazy and talk about stuff that we pick apart in a book. It was just
Right.
us just firing about stuff that's been happening. I like
I
it.
like it. Well, we'll get crazy next time because I
Yeah,
think we got one coming up about the market recovery, or AKA the Target Fund. So that'll be a good one. We might have
Yeah,
some
man.
guests for that one. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Okay, yeah, it'd be a good one to cover. That way we can educate the membership on how it works and what goes on with it, and why it exists and what it's for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone listening, message us. We'd like to talk about.
Yeah.
I was talking to Erik earlier. Maybe just zeroing in on each committee or each so like the executive board, and then you'll have the examining board, and maybe we can talk about exactly what they do and how that structure works and what they're responsible for. Because I know they touch it a little bit in the union politics class, but if you haven't been an apprentice, in the last 10 years or provisional, like it's really, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if you want to just ask about, what's the any officer, any elected officer, what's their responsibilities? What are they to do?
Yeah.
Shoot me or you a message, let us know, and I can talk to you, or you get a message, you talk to me, and we can figure out, we can incorporate that into a podcast and explain to them how it works, how this union operates. That's what this is for. That's what this platform's for.
That's it.
It's the members, and let them understand how this union operates, and if they got something they want to talk about or have questions on, all they got to do is let us know.
That's it.
Yep, we'll do our
All right,
best
man.
to cover it.
Good talk.
All right, you too, man.
All right, brother. See you again.
All right, see y'all.
All right.